Boys, ghouls, non-boonaries, all aboard. It is time again for the Doom Train. Today we are talking about the 2015 J-horror film, Tag. Not to be confused with that movie from earlier this year about the guys what are playing tag that I didn't see. It looked funny, but that's not what we're here for. Um, Tag, also known as Riaru Onigokko, is a very strange, from what I've been told, art house movie. And surprisingly enough, as much as I love horror anime and manga, I don't really mess with J-horror that much. Like, the only thing I've seen are, oh, what's that movie called? Oh, that one with the Fortnite and the Destiny, Battle Royale, Battle Royale. Speaking of which, a good concept for a game idea that will make me tons and tons of money, but not really because I'm not a programmer, so really that idea is going to be taken by whoever thinks of this game. Battle Royale featuring the manga Battle Royale. Unless what the movie came first, I don't care. Well, anyway, so Tag 2015. So I am basically a virgin to the J-horror movie genre. If you could imagine that meme with the Virgin Chad, or yeah, with the Virgin and Chad, I am the Virgin Sid Aghast versus the Chad myself for manga. So anyway, what I didn't know is that Japanese movies tend to have a much smaller budget than their American counterparts. And the reason why I don't know this is because I just don't watch that many movies. Like, this is partially a excuse for me to watch more movies, and I'm definitely going to watch more now, or at least more J-horror anyway. Um, so this movie has like the same sort of budget as like an episode of Power Rangers, and that's fantastic. And to my understanding, this is a sort of common thing. So anyway, Tag is about a quiet high school girl who is like very obviously a late 20-year-old adult. And she's on a field trip. Everything's going fine. All the girls, they're all playing games. They're all talking to each other and doing all sorts of extremely overacted schoolgirl stuff. And then the wind starts blowing, and lo and behold, as Mitsuko is bending over to reach for a pin, a gust of wind slices through the school bus, like chopping everyone there on board. They chop the entire bus in half. Mitsuko gets up. There's just these, half chopped up bodies just splooting their blood everywhere. And this is like a good 5 minutes into the movie. They're trying to, I wouldn't say they're trying to lull you into a sense of, security, but, enough to where you knew something was up. They're trying real hard to get you to think that, maybe this is going to be a psychological horror thing. It's not. Um, Yeah, so all the other girls are dead, and at this point, I'm thinking that this is a what's that yokai called? Oh, the sickle weasel. I forget the actual name of it. Kamatachi? I think it's a Kamatachi. I don't remember. So anyway, she manages to escape the gust of wind. You can tell because there are like a bunch of leaves and shit blowing there too. Uh, So she's very confused. She's running away as fast as she possibly can, as anyone, should really. Because for some reason, the gust of wind will only get you if you're, like, still standing up. If you're laying down, you're good. The wind won't blow on the floor. You're fine. You're golden. So she runs to a nearby lake and changes into, like, another kid's uniform because there are just a bunch of, uniforms around. She's just like washing all the fucking blood off of her. Like, she's still running around and meeting all these people like, run, it's the wind, everybody, you gotta duck down. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And shoot, they get cut up too. Uh, there's even like comically a as she's running down the road, there's a scene where a group of bikers are just like singing songs coming from the way that she just ran. So there's no way they couldn't have seen all those bodies. But this is only done to, more reason to have like cartoon gore effects where like swing and their torsos all just pop off. It's like a cartoon. And this is all, like, again, done on the same sort of budget I'd expect from, like, a Power Rangers episode. Well, no, that's not true. That's not true. But I don't want to say as much as a sci-fi TV special. Um, Somewhere in between, like, maybe a very special episode of Power Rangers. Like, not a season finale, but, like, a two-part episode. Maybe. I've only seen, like a little bit of Power Rangers. I think I might be thinking more of Sentai, but that's neither here nor there. So she's running around, and then bam, she's on a high school campus, and she's greeted by her homie Aki, that they call Surreal, who is the or they call her Suri, which is short for Surreal, who's the edge master. She's flipping you off. She's wearing goth stuff. She walked out of a Hot Topic 10 minutes ago. You know she loves the Berserk. You know she loves the Invader Zim. You know she loves the Dolls Kill, if they have all those things in Japan. She's flipping off the camera. And her other friend, allegedly, Takeo, who's a normal one. And Mitsuko's like, I'm sorry, have we met, like, at any point in time? We're on a school campus. To be frank with you, I don't go here. I don't know who you people are. And Aki is like, no, okay, well, maybe you just have amnesia. Maybe just hit your head or something, because, you go here. We've been friends for like 150 years. Maybe you had a nightmare about everybody being killed by, a gust of fucking wind, because that sounds stupid. But, she seems to be having a... Oh, oops, that's my phone. Sorry, guys. I've broken the illusion of professionalism that I always try to hold up here on the DoomTrain podcast. So the girls say, okay, tell you what, you've been having a real rough day. This is kind of bullshit. That's true. I don't believe whatever the fuck it is you just said, but tell you what, fuck this, let's just go cut class. So they have a fun cartoon chase sequence with one of the teachers who catches them doing a hooky, and this is where it gets real awkward, because you can obviously tell that these women are like clearly like 25 and 30 plus. So the girls get to the woods and they start, talking about destiny and predetermination, and if there are like multiple realities, because Mitsuko is still very much bothered by, as most people would, seeing like 30 girls chopped in half. And Sir's like, okay, so here let me explain to you predetermination. So there is a feather, right? And the time it takes for the feather to drop and where it's going to drop is basically already determined. Like, this has been determined the second you let your finger go from that, whatever. Now it's up to gravity and whatever, and we can calculate that. Well, I'm expanding on that a little bit, but Mitsuko wonders, like, okay, well, shit, is there no escaping destiny? And I guess the point she's trying to make here in her own head is like, oh shit, was that just meant to happen? Are we all just gonna get chopped up by the wind? But Sir says, no. See, fate is a dumb buffoon. Fate is a fucking rube. Fate is just this is dumb, and, well, she doesn't say all that. But you can trick fate. And you can basically do that by doing something you would never normally do. Which I guess, that's something that I also kind of feel in my day-to-day life. So I wonder if that's a sort of universal feeling, that shit is just kind of predetermined, unless if you don't do that thing that, like would shoot you down the already sort of determined path, I suppose. Um, and then they said, like, for example, and then like there's a little bit of a jump scare, like a dun 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 dun, and Surrey is then eaten by an alligator, and it really gives some credence to the term. Ooh, I don't know if I could say this on the podcast, even though I've said fuck 30 times. Eating pussy. Wow, shit, I said it. Oh no, there's my phone again. Alright, you know what, fuck it. We're just gonna have to silence this bad boy. And, there. Are we all happy now? We've been silenced. I've silenced my phone. Or as the conservatives of the world would say, this is censorship. We're censoring Sid's phone. This is a violation of freedom of speech. Okay, that's enough of that bit. So yeah, she's getting eaten by an alligator, and again, this is on a Power Rangers budget. This is obviously a puppet, not even a good puppet. This just kind of, grabbing her by her crotch, she's just kind of chomping away there on a very low budget. So it's just a bunch of red paint and shit. And then the camera cuts away and says, "Yeah, wouldn't it be fucked up if that happens?" to Aki. Wait, or was it Suri? I don't remember. Just still right there. Turned out she was just describing a scene, and I thought that was actually very funny. It's actually very important to note that, oof. Yeah, it's actually important to note that there are a lot of panty shots here. Well, I'm sorry, it's not important to note, but for those of you who are watching this without actually seeing the movie and just enjoy how I explain things, which is fair because I do the same thing to a lot of other movies, there are a shit ton of panty shots. Like, I'm getting the feeling that whoever made this movie might be a naughty boy. Who directed this? Sion Sono? I think Sion Sono is a naughty boy. I think he just wants to see these girls in their underwear. But there's a lot of that going on, so there you go. So, oh, also there's a scene where you see two of the girls married, just kind of hovering there in the woods, kind of far away. It's not a creepy scene, it's just kind of you're not sure if it's a daydream or not. So the girls say, okay, that was fun, I guess. That was strange. So let's all go back to school. Let's all, second period starting in a minute. So they go to school, and the homeroom teacher breaks out a machine gun and starts killing all the girls except for Mitsuko. And this is out of fucking nowhere. This movie has a very particular rhythm where I start getting a little bit bored and I start looking at my phone because this is becoming like another anime. Here's a little bit of fan service. Here's a little bit of, I don't know what the word is, but like, hey kids, here's some gay. You like that, right? Not like in a representation way, but you be into it in a sexual way. So I just get bored. I watch a lot of anime, and if I can escape that for like 10 fucking minutes, then I will. Not that I don't want representation, I just don't want it to be a vehicle for fan service is what I'm trying to get at. But that's neither here nor there, because this is the most kick-ass fucking scene in the movie. Yeah, so initially when watching this scene, I was thinking, school shooting for me, an American person, that hits a little bit of a sour note right now. But all the kids are running out of there. They're getting out of there. And then they go hide. And then another homeroom teacher. Turns out she just killed her entire class. Takeo's and Suri and Mitsuko, they're all running. They're seeing the remnants of girls on the ground. They're running away. They're all getting gunned down. There are crowds of kids, and by kids I mean obviously adult women. They're running away. This becomes like a World War I situation. Like they have grenade launchers and like they're sending in artillery and shit to like gun down the girls getting slaughtered left and right. And it's kind of hilarious out of nowhere, because I'm not joking. They break out a fucking grenade launcher. and this is all like with the same level of violence. Well, not violence. The violence obviously higher, but like the same sort of budget of Power Rangers. Like they're not having the spark explosion; they're having the actual explosion. But you can tell this is on a very low budget, and it's fucking amazing. Um, okay, so then Mitsuko recognizes one of the girls and just like, "Oh, dude, you got to do something about this." And then the remaining girls are sliced apart by that gust of wind from earlier. Remember that? Yeah, there's a lot going on here. So Mitsuko just keeps running, and then she's just someone else now, like which is like she's played by the same actress, but she's the same person. Now Mitsuko is a bride named Keiko, and it's her wedding day, and oh boy, this part is also pretty great. One of the girls says, "All right, it's time for your wedding." Now, when they try to fight back, take this, and it's a shattered bottle. Like it's her wedding day, and someone's telling you, "Okay, now when shit goes down, just take this glass bottle. You'll know what it means." Uh, and things are getting weird, so she goes to her wedding. Everything seems cool. It seems pretty lit. Happiest day of your life. And then that's when things get weird, where the girls start just, all the, mostly women. I think the cast of this movie is actually almost all women. Just start screaming at her and just saying really mean things and pushing her down the aisle and shit. Um, yeah, and they're screaming and jeering at her, and also now taking off their clothes too and shouting. They're not naked. They're just getting down to their underwear, and then bana 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 bana. When she's going down the aisle, instead of there being a groom, it's a big casket. And she gets up there. They open the casket, and it's a horrible big man. And by horrible, I mean Power Rangers. Very low budget. A guy with a boar's head. Oh, and all the girls who were at the wedding, they're all previous students. They're all like jeering at her and shit. And then she says, "Okay, fuck this." Takes out the glass bottle, stabs the boar man in the neck, and they have a cool fight with all the other girls. And then like Aki, like they have a really cool fight scene, where a different version of Aki is there fighting off like these two, I don't know, like assassin ladies who were played by the two homeroom teachers from before. And they're fleeing and fighting off all the girls, like, if you have seen Kill Bill, like, imagine this is what this movie turns into. And I realize as I'm saying this right now, I'm sounding more and more, fucking insane, as these things tend to do. So after encountering all of this shit, um, they end up in, I believe, a cave, and they just, outright tell her, "Okay, well, the reason this shit is happening is that you're alive," and they will all continue to die over and over until Mitsuko is dead, or whatever her name is now. Um, Aki tells her to focus and remember, like, all the shit that, she's gone through. And ultimately, she is Mitsuko. Throughout all these fun adventures, yeah, throughout all these fun adventures, including one that I think I kind of skipped a little bit, um, where they're running, oh, I'm sorry, I skipped a running bit. Yeah, we're gonna go back to the running bit. Between this, there's also a bit where, ooh, now she's a track star. She's running on the track. Everybody's cheering her on, including her buddies who were there before. But then, bam, the gusts of wind is back. It's not chopping anyone this time, but it's chasing her. This is a chase movie now. The pig guy is also running too, and so are the two assassins. They're trying to get her. Then she runs into the cave. Then she finds that, they're all gonna keep dying unless unless if she dies. And it's very important for Mitsuko to know that she is the main character. They will keep trying to, cut her down because she is the main character. They explicitly tell her this. And she has to do something about it. Like, each one of these fun, different scenarios is like a level. And that, yeah, and she's at about the last one. So Aki says, okay, Mitsuko, you're gonna have to kill me in a very brutal way. You're gonna have to go through this door behind me, but the only way to do it is to murder me. And you do that by pulling these two string. Wow, I'm doing a really bad job at explaining this. This is an art house movie, and it is a little bit hard to follow, but just know that she goes through these fun Alice in Wonderland-like scenarios, and yeah, that's really all you need to know. Yeah, and the brutal way she has to kill her buddy is by pulling these two, like, large vein-like threads that are in her arm, like a red one and a blue one. And by pulling them, she sort of begins splitting in half, sort of like Persephone in the Shin Megami Tensei games, where, she's just being sort of split in half. You gotta pull these strings, and she's like, no, 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 don't stop pulling them because this hurts like a motherfucker. Just keep pulling, don't stop. She's gonna have to die, but that's fine. Gets that pain over. So, urged on by Aki, Mitsuko just kills her, and then a portal opens up behind her. She walks through the portal, leading to, Man World? Ugh, okay. So, Man World is, a place that only has disgusting, gross men. Like, think of a cartoon disgusting man. Think of a Bill Dotrieve. Think of a greasy diner that she does end up in. Think of the Thistle Man from Alice is Not Alone. That's basically the zone that she's in right now. And this is, the world is only filled by men who enjoy a poster for an advertisement for a video game called Tag. Isn't that interesting that this is also the name of the movie? And also that her buddies are on the poster of this movie? So then Mitsuko passes out, and she wakes up in a temple where all of her buddies are there. Like, all the fun, spooky characters you've met so far. Well, they're not that spooky, but all the characters you've met are just, stood up like mannequins. She keeps walking, and there is this old man playing what seems to be like the movie, but, with a video game style HUD display. And he's like, aha! Turns out, this whole thing was like, what's that movie called? Cabin Fever? Or was it House in the Woods? I think it's House in the Woods. This is a House in the Woods situation where I've been controlling this the entire time. This is a virtual reality game that your life is, except for not really, because the real Mitsuko died many, many years ago, and they took her DNA and have been cloning copies of her and all of her buddies and going through these simulations where they die over and over again like a video game. Says, like, this very old game master man. And he says, well, great, the star of the video game is here. She's here, she's in person. It's time. Get on up on the bed, Mitsuko. Get on up there. And, behind her is now, suddenly a bed with a younger version of this old man laying down like, you know what's happening next. We're gonna do it because apparently you're gonna consent to that. Don't worry. He's wearing underwear. Don't worry. He's also flaccid? Well, I guess that's better. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, did I say this was 150 years ago? Yeah, this guy's been doing this shit for like 150 years. Now he's super old and can't, I guess, get it up anymore. So he makes a clone of himself so he can finally nail this girl with his clone, I suppose. And she goes, okay, well, I guess that's what I'm doing now. And remembers, what her buddy said earlier, hey, the only way you're gonna change fate is by doing something, you know, totally unexpected. So instead of sleeping with this strange hairless man, she goes, no, 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 I'm not doing that. Don't fuck with me. Don't, you know, this is bullshit. I'm not dealing with this. And you know, she's ripping up the pillows that's on the bed. Like nope, nope, hitting the guy, seemingly not particularly hard, but you know, I guess it's important that she's not consenting, and that seems to be enough. And it's showering the room with like a ton of fucking feathers. Um, which has been a running motif throughout the movie. Like whenever fate is changed and she goes to another one of these fun, apparently video game lands, it's usually signaled by a feather dropping. Yeah, but then she remembers, okay, so the only way to change fate, the only way to get out of the situation is by doing something unexpected. So then she stabs herself, to the shock of both Old Man and also Young Strange Man. And then she finds herself at the beginning of like each scenario. Like she's back on the bus at the beginning, she kills herself there. She's at the track meet, she kills herself there by stabbing herself. Um, and at the wedding chapel, you know, she does the same. And at the marathon, does the same. She's died ultimately, but then the credits roll, she's dead. That's the end, guys. Just kidding. Then she wakes up alone in a field of snow, gets up, walks away, realizing she's finally free. Um, I don't know what to say about this movie. Um, I like it, I guess. I for sure am going to watch more J-horror if this is a trend of things. Like it's actually been on my to-do list for longer than I care to admit, to be honest with you. So maybe we'll take a detour into J-horror like a lot. I don't know. Who knows? I might have a more overlapping amount of shit with people that are just here for Manga Macabre. So I give this movie 5 panty shots out of a pretty strange movie. Like a lot of horror movies, it's not good. I wouldn't say it's good, but it was interesting. It was only an hour and 20 minutes long. Thankfully, like I'm fucking sick of 2-hour movies. Can we stop that? I got shit to do, man. It's already like 9. I don't want to be here until like 11. Let me just slide out early at 10:30 like every other person at work. Okay, that's enough of that. Next time, I'm honestly not sure. If you're watching on YouTube, the next one will be A Quiet Place, if I can find the MP3 for it. I uploaded it to SoundCloud, but didn't make a video for it. But until then, we have arrived at our station, and toot toot. Okay, see ya. I'm bad at ending these.